CQ. This is M0AUG calling all members and friends of the Denby Dale Amateur Radio Society for the regular Thursday evening digital night. Good to see quite a few people on this evening, and I'll just run down the list as I've got so far, and we'll see how we go from there. So first on the list will be Laura, Mike 7 Romeo Papa Lima, followed by Dave G6ZSM, and Keith GM4JKZ, Nick G4IWO, Jeff Oscar November 8 November Tango, who's connected to HX this evening, M0ROL, and then our friends in Germany, DL1 BJW with DL8 and BDT. Good evening, everybody. That's a good start to the programme this evening. So, up to Scotland and over to you first of all, Laura. MM0RPL in the group, M0AEG. Good evening.
M0AUG, MM7 Bravo Foxtrot Lima, and I just want to wish everyone a good evening. It's raining up here in Scotland. It was sunny all day until the evening. My antenna mast snapped, so I'm waiting for a replacement part. But other than that, was a great class yesterday on the presentation on PODA. It was very interesting. And yeah, that's me. MM7BFL, back to M0AUG, to the group.
MM7BFL, the group M0AUG return. Yes, that's fine, Laura. I saw that you had problems with the mast and that you were waiting for a replacement bit, so I'm sure that'll come shortly and you're back up and running again. Okay, right to the other end of the country, really, down in Taunton there with Dave. G6ZSN in the group. M0AUG, good evening, Dave. Hope all is well with you.
M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN. Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, everyone else. And good evening again, Laura. Not a lot happening here. I've been spending a little bit of time working with Laura, trying to get her hotspots, etc. working, and not getting much success for some reason. So I've pulled in external forces to sort of give me some backup. But we'll get there. I've never known some of the problems, but my radio has never read Chinese before. It now reads English again, thank goodness. And a few other odds and sods, but it's all good fun, and my goodness, isn't it making my brain not only ache, but I think it's deteriorated a bit more. Radio-wise, I've actually ordered the tilt-over mast stand. After talking to the guys in Radio World, they assured me that their new one actually does have 2 bolts to secure the swivel part, and it's still a couple of pence cheaper than Moonraker, who never rang me back and never ever do anyway, so I ordered it off of them. Hopefully it'll be here and I can go up on the hills and play with it next week. M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN.
G6ZSN in the group, M0AUG returning. Yes, fine on that there. Just a little bit of angst popping on that, so I don't know whether you're a bit too close to the hotspot or you're just overdriving it slightly. But nothing, it didn't break up at all, but you could hear the popping in the background there, Dave, so something to look at. And I hope you can resolve the problem that Laura's got. Obviously, if you haven't got any external issues themselves, we can always get Charlotte from the Oldham Club involved as well, if that needs to be. Just for Jeff's benefit, I've been having awful problems with the broadband today, Jeff. So if you keep an eye on the screen, if you don't mind, please. And if you detect that I've dropped out, I'll be grateful if you can pick it up. Right, back up to Scotland, north of the borders, and we'll go up to Keith there. GM4JKZ in the group, M0AG. Good evening, Keith, and good to have you on the side tonight.
M0AUG in the group, GM4JKZ. Yeah, nice to be here again tonight. And playing yo-yos tonight, Scotland, down south.
here?
Yeah, last night I found very interesting, as I was saying at the end there, that the place where we take the dogs for a walk is actually a registered location. So probably this summer I will take some equipment in the car up there and have a play around. Otherwise, this week I've just been playing with central locking on the rear door on the car, on the Volvo. Great fun. About 3 hours to dismantle it all, and it's still not working. So I've got motors on order from China, believe it or not, that fit in the mechanism. As long as I don't break any of the plastic parts, taking it apart for a second time. But that's fun. And the other thing on the car, I've got to change the antenna mounting on the roof rail. It's getting a bit rusty now, and it needs sorting out. I've got about 3 or 4 new ones, so I'll put a pair on. So I've got one for the hotspot and one for the transceiver in the car. The radio-wise, other than that, I've been playing on the Spanish 75th anniversary, the AO75 series of contacts, and I've achieved the silver award, which is minimum of 14 of the individual stations across 3 bands. But I'm not going to get the gold because you've got to work 18 across each of 4 bands. So there's 2 stations I certainly can't hear. So no chance there. But it was good fun playing Fox and Hounds. Anyway, back to you there from GM4JKZ.
GM4JKZ in the group M0AG returning. A bit of drop out towards the end there, Keith, but I think you probably passed it to me in the meantime there. So it was a good evening last night, wasn't it? It was a very good presentation, and it'll no doubt liven a few people up to start to do parks on there, I think. Yeah, over to you there, Nick. G4IW in the group M0AUG. Good evening.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, good evening, Jeff, and everyone else on the net tonight. I'll keep my first over brief as possible. Just to say, I agreed, Jeff, with everyone else as well, that last night's presentation was very good and very interesting and very enjoyable, and very, very pleased that we got Harold WJ1B to come and give that talk to us last night. It's inspired Ken, G4VZV, who's off tomorrow to Cusworth Park in Doncaster to go and activate a portable operation from the park tomorrow. So I'll be interested to hear how Ken gets on tomorrow. And just the other very quick thing, and it's probably more for you, Jeff, than anyone else, but I know Oldham have got their open day tomorrow. I've circulated details by email. Unfortunately, I can't get there. I've got another appointment tomorrow going off in the opposite direction away from Oldham, so I'm not going to be able to get there, Jeff. But Tom, ZS1AFS, when he popped in last night, said to me that he would be very keen to see if he can do a 10-metre sked with Oldham Radio Club on Saturday using the equipment they've got down at the ATC, Jeff. So if you're able to pass that on to Dave, and I've got Tom's email address, I can give you and give him Tom's email contact details to see if you can get a 10-metre contact with Tom. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group from G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group M0AUG returning. Okay, then, I think that's fine. Just to clarify, you mentioned tomorrow the open day at Oldham is on Saturday, in actual fact, and if you can just let me have Tom's email address, because if anybody's going to be operating HF on Saturday, it's likely to be me, and that's okay. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Sorry you won't be there, but obviously you've got other commitments elsewhere as well, so that's fine. And I hope we get people coming down there. I don't know whether Eddie's coming down or not, because obviously he's a member of the Oldham Club. I think he said he was going to. And, maybe he will. But anybody's welcome from the Denby Dale Club. And I should have acknowledged earlier on that Rachel did log on, but was logged off again. So if you watch this back on the YouTube, Rachel, we did know you were there. Over to Belgium there. Oscar November 8, November Tango in the group. M0AUG. Good evening, Jeff.
Mike 0, Alpha Uniform Golf. The group ONA November Tango. Very good evening to you, Jeff, and to everyone here on the net. Very nice to all meet you up again. We had 15 degrees today, cloudy, but during the last couple of days we had beautiful weather. And the next weekend, the weekend which is coming, we will have some good weather, sunshine, 22 degrees on Sunday, maybe 17 degrees, so that's good news. Oh, the meeting of yesterday, very interesting. I registered myself on the quota app and discovered that I had already 23 contacts with a quota station. So they were nicely listed there on that web app. So, thinking about also do some kind of activations looks easy. So really looking into that. Back to you, Jeff. Mike 0 AUG, the group ONA November Tango.
ONA November Tango in the group M0AUG telling. Yes, fine, Jeff. I don't know whether your transmission is quite as clear when you come through HX as to when you come onto the gateway directly there, Jeff. But that's your comment on that. And good to have you with us this evening. It was a good talk last night, it really was. Back down to my net now, to Andrew. M0ROL in the group, M0AUG. Good evening, Andrew. Hope all is well.
M0AUG, M0ROL. Yes, good evening, Jeff, and good evening everyone else that's on the net tonight. I do hope your wife's still on the road to recovery, Jeff, and you're looking after her very tentatively. So pass my good wishes on to her. Hopefully she's on the mend now. We've had a strange phenomenon down in Minehead today. We've had this sort of yellow thing in the sky. Haven't seen it for a good while. So it's been quite a nice day in between some rain showers and things like that. So yes, it was quite a nice day today. I think tomorrow is going to be about 19 degrees down here. So yes, we are looking forward to a good couple of days. So I'll keep this one quiet, fairly quick. But just to say that last night I found really enjoyable. I've done a few parts on the air activations. We're lucky in Minehead that we have Exwell within a very short drive from here. We also have the Quantox, we have Sturt Marshes, and we have Bridgewater Bay as well, which I think is a park. So yes, there's quite a few around here, but just give me some extra incentive to get out after last night's talk. So I'll leave it there and pass it back to you on my first over at Jeff M0AUG, the group M0ROL.
M0ROL in the group M0AUG returning. First off, Andrew, thanks very much for your good wishes, not only from yourself, but also we've had good wishes from Jeff in Belgium and Mike and Adriana in Northern Germany, and from the club as well. And obviously very appreciative of all that. And improvements are being made. It's going to be a slowish process, I think. We've been to the hospital care clinic quite a few times in the last few weeks, and we're there again on Monday. So we're just waiting for some results of the biopsies before we can see where the next stage goes there. But thanks again for bringing that up, Andrew. Over to our friends in Northern Germany now, Mike and Adriana. D8BJW with DLA to BET. M0AUG in the group. Good evening to both.
Good evening. This is Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Wishing you all a very good evening, and yeah, it's nice to hear all your voices again. One word to the meeting yesterday, the Zoom meeting regarding POTA. I was very intrigued about the talk, because I always thought that there were no POTA parks in our vicinity here near our QDH. And I now discovered that this is not the case. There were only some flora fauna parks far away from us, but actually there are 4 POTA parks within a distance of 30 kilometers from our QDH. So that's a nice surprise, and I think there's some potential in it for the future HI. So let's see what we can make out of it. Very interesting. One of the parks is even here in the city, in one of the public parks. So that could be used by us very quickly, I think. Looking forward to it. So far, I pass the microphone to Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Good evening to all of you. This is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, also on my side was a very excellent talk yesterday, and I looked at what possibilities are on Facebook to ask perhaps some other hands in groups for some questions, and I saw that there is an international Facebook group which can be joined by amateur radios and amateur radio operators, and also a German Facebook group which is on POTA enthusiasts. And so I've just put up a question on this group which concerns our nearby POTA parks, and seems to be quite interesting. Yes, and Keith, congrats to your award there, to the Spanish award. It's, yes, there are many interesting stations there, and might be a good project even on CW to operate them. And so yes, I hand the microphone to M0 AUG for group.
DL8 BDT with DL1 BJW, the group M0 AUG returning. Yeah, thanks both of you. And it's interesting, isn't it, if you start to look at the maps where the parks are. I know I went down that route earlier in the year, but obviously with all the things going on, didn't do anything about it in terms of activations. But I was surprised how many parks there actually are there to go. And, yeah, very interesting talk and a very interesting presentation there. And something to look forward to, as you say. Okay, back up to you, Laura, though. MM7BFL in the group, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG, MM7BFL. I didn't do a whole lot ham radio, so I'll be making it really short. And this will be my last over, as I need to go spend some time with the husband. So it was nice to hear everyone on, and great things are going on in this club. And as I was going through the YouTube channel, I noticed that Bob Heil was on a couple of years during Christmas time in this, so that's kind of sad that he's gone now. But anyways, that's all I have for tonight. And this is back to you, M0 AUG, and M7BFL.
M7 vehicle in the group M0AUG returning. Yes, fine on that, Laura. And in fact, on the Ham Nation channel on YouTube, there was one episode a couple of weeks ago when the team did a special about Bob Howell, because obviously he was one of the founders of Ham Nation, and in fact he'd been on the Denby Dale group, coming on via on the channel quite a few times over the period with us as well, and so he's a great presenter, and I was fortunate enough to have met him a couple of times when he was over in the UK, and a great loss to the hobby and all the work he did. I understand that you're going to just sign off tonight, Laura, so I won't call you again. Hope you get the antenna sorted out. I look forward to catching up with you on another week there. Yeah. I've not done much on nothing at all, rather, on the Spanish stations there, over there, Keith. One thing I did get when I was on the worldwide DX the other week with my ATAS 120 antenna on a triple mag mount, I did actually work into Argentina, and that contact's been confirmed. So I'm quite pleased about that. Over to you there, Dave. G6 and Silver 7 in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G6 at SN, and good night to Laura, and I'll be contacting you fairly soon, I hope, with some good news. Yeah, it didn't come on the net last night because I was down in Exeter learning about what the plans are having to go through with electric vehicles. And to me, it sounds absolutely crazy being a grease monkey of the 70s and 80s, where you just got your hands dirty and went into a car and did whatever it needed to. Now they've got to wear protective suits, protective gloves, protective masks, wear special shoes, stand on rubber mats, and then they have to proceed a certain way to electrify the electric car and the hybrids. And all I can say is I thought that the cars were complicated enough, but thank goodness I don't have anything to do with the electric, and I certainly don't want anything. But and then in the afternoon, in the morning, I took a guy out for a mock test, and we were just leaving. We'd left the motorway to go back onto the main road to where he should be dropping me, and he shot straight across the main road and back down onto the motorway. Oh dear, what a boo-boo. After 20 miles, we were back on where we should be. And get some funny things doing mock tests because people feel, I don't know, worried, I think. There's nothing I can do. I can only report on how they get on. It's not like they're actually on the test. I must put the fear of God into people. HI. Anyway, back to you, Jeff. M0AUG group, G6 ZSN.
G6 ZSN in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, following that, David, thanks for helping Laura to get sorted with the hospital, etc. And interested in the comments on the electric vehicles, I saw some on the news flashes this evening that one of the major motor manufacturers in Europe is in actual fact they're losing lots of electric sales, and the cars are just backing up there because people over in Europe are preferring to go back to petrol. So there we are, that might be a trend, you never know. Over to you there, Keith. GM4 JKZ in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, GM4 JKZ. I hope I'm getting through okay now there, Jeff. It's interesting. The ones that are being stacked in China are spontaneously combusting. I forget how many there were per day that were catching fire over there, but it was more than 100 per day in these particular parks. But they've got thousands of cars because they can't sell them. Andrew, the yellow thing in the sky, it's brilliant, I must admit. We had it here today. Believe it or not, it's raining now. But I just checked our solar power, and we've produced 72% solar of our consumption so far today, which worked out at 13.9 kilowatts. So doing us proud. Can't wait for summer to reduce those electric bills further. And Argentina on your mobile setup, that's good going. That this afternoon I actually worked a station in Thailand that was stroke mobile, so I wasn't sure what he was running, but I thought I'd give it a go. That admittedly was on FT8, but that's quite interesting, I must say. The last thing I've got to add, basically, dog training. I think last week I mentioned that we drive 100 miles and he doesn't really do what he's supposed to do. Well, they found a new location they went to last night over in Selkirk. Got there just as there was a bomb squad was there, and they evacuated the area. So drove all the way over there, drove all the way back because of a suspect package. And the news we checked this morning, the bomb squad gave it one of their local explosions. But it was just a episode somewhere. So there we go. Okay, that's all from me, I think. I'm going to be called for a meal in a minute, so if I don't come back next over, I'm munching downstairs with the family. M0 AUG, back to you there, Jeff, with group GM4JKZ.
Yeah, and in the group M0 AUG, yeah, a few breaks. So, a lot of I was concerned there, Keith, but fully understood what you meant with that. And in fact, we used to go to a hotel in Selkirk many years ago, and in fact, I think it was called the Fillinburn House. I seem to remember, and we used to go there every Christmas. And they were there for many years until the owners who were there at the time passed away. A very, very nice place to be. I can recommend it. Sorry, just dropped out there whilst I had a cough. There you go. Over to you then, G4IWO in the group M0AUG.
Yeah, M0 AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, first of all, I did forget to welcome our watchers live on YouTube, and of course those that catch up with this net afterwards. We still have a very steady audience of people who dip into listening to the net afterwards on the YouTube channel. So good evening to you, or hello to you from everyone here at Denby Dale Amateur Radio Club. And to Rachel, who's listening on YouTube, I was hoping to see if she could make contact from GB7HX from her QTH, but she can't do it with the internal aerial on that she's got next to her ICOM 705, but she thinks she might be able to on the one which is on top of the house. And checking the UK repeater net, she is within the area that should be able to access GB7HX. So good luck with that one, Rachel. And I'm delighted from Mike's report there that you've got one of the public parks in your city that you could activate from POTA, which would be really good, wouldn't it? And definitely worth trying one day. And I've discovered who the UK lead person is for mapping, and I'm going to email her. I've drafted an email, I haven't sent it yet, to discuss with her about whether we can get some more parks brought into the orbit of POTA here in the UK. So back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG in the group from G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0 AUG. And yeah, thanks for bringing Rachel in there. She's actually logged off again, but I didn't mention it earlier on, and I'm pleased that she could join us. I know she prefers to use the rather than the microphone, and always a pleasure if she wants to listen. That's absolutely fine. And yeah, fine on the expansion of the services. That'll do very, very nicely indeed. Over to you there, Jeff, Oscar November Tango in the group, M0AEG.
M0AEG, the group, OA8 November Tango. Okay, fine business running on that Pota talk and test a lot of us, so that's good news. I have been active in the RTTY Eco Alpha contest this weekend. Conditions were awful, but I worked some 86 stations, which different Alpha Oscar 75 stations. So that made it possible that today I discovered I had the bronze plaque, the Alpha Oscar 75 bronze certificate in the pocket. So I also tried to get probably the silver with a little bit of luck, and maybe I should try some CW or some SSB. And I know that weekend Mike was able to contact some stations in Oceania and VK and so on. This morning I was up quite early because my XYL had an appointment, and I was on 70 meters and on 50 meters and on 70 meters I worked Fiji and Samoa, and then two VK stations and a Japanese station, and then on 50 meters again some activities, some interesting stations. So maybe I'm staying up too late, and I'm not there at the early mornings when the conditions are right for VK. I think that's probably the reason. Okay, and yesterday evening here in Belgium and in the Netherlands, it was possible to see a falling star, which seems to be fallen into the North Sea, at least as according to some reports. That was quite interesting. I missed that actually. I was at the meeting. I didn't know that, but it was clearly visible for a lot of people here, and there were some nice good and talking about that. Okay, back to you, Jeff. AUG, and very nice to see that your Israel is progressing little by little, but anyway, in a good direction. Magazero AUG, the group for an 8 November Tango.
8 November Tango in the group, M0AG returning. Yeah, thanks, Jeff, for your particular thoughts on that. I know you and others, we've had email correspondence as well, and it's good to know we've got this community going, which has provided the friendship in the various countries, and that's fantastic as well. So yeah, what was I going to say then? For the information here, the Oldham Radio Club G40RC is the call sign to look out for. We hope to be able to get on HF on this coming Saturday, probably from about 10:30 clock time onwards, and until about 1600 clock time in the afternoon there. So we'll listen to see what's on the HF bands. The call sign will be Golf 4 Oscar Romeo Charlie, which is the main call sign of the 3 club call signs that we have down there. So I'll see how we go, and hope somebody can make it onto us. Over to you there, Andrew. M0ROL in the group, M0AUG.
Yeah, M0AUG in the group, M0ROL. Wasn't that a song by Perry Como that Jeff HI was Catch a Falling Star? But I digress from the and Keith, yes, probably not quite as bright here as you've had it up in Scotland. We've generated 9 kilowatts today from our solar panels, most of which probably went into the grid. Because I'm with Octopus on the Agile tariff. So I take advantage of the cheap rate split overnight. In fact, whilst being windy is not very good for me to get out on the hills with the antenna, it does actually make it electricity can be cheap, and in some cases I'm getting paid to to consume electricity. So I can't have best of both worlds. And follow up on Dale's now about buying a drive over mast from Moonraker. I bought one from eBay, a chap called Dave, about a week ago, and it arrived a couple of days ago. And I have to say, it is probably one of the best drive over mast supports I've seen. It's not one that you can swing down so that you can actually use it to put up a mast, but it will take you to a 93mm mast, which is about 3.5 inches. It's really solid. It's a square format to put the mast in, with 4 big screw-in bolts so that you can adjust the tension. What I've done is I've cut some plywood up. I think some sort of 18mm plywood, and put it then clamped through the hand with some foam. So all the masts I've got, even my big heavy which is about 19mm in diameter, will fit in the to put it up without having to start. But I sort of been more tasks which I have for soda beans, which are bigger than the normal diameter of the drive mat. I never use it for that. Fits in absolutely fine. So yeah, for I think £54, it was an excellent buy. It makes it one of the purchases I made from one of them. On that note, Jeff, I'll pass it back to you. AUG, and this is M0ROL. M0RL in the group, M0AG turning F1, Andrew. Sounds like you made a good purchase there. And just out of interest, and it's not to do with advertising, I think it's the way the hobby is going. I did read an announcement that I saw today that both Waters and Stanton and Nevada, who, as we know, moved up to Milton Keynes earlier in the year or late last year, they are now officially recognised as being part of the Moonraker group, which was a good way for them, because the two owners of the respective companies were obviously well past retiring age, and it's nice that the contacts and everything else can be preserved with it. So it's all part of the Moonraker group now. And not intended to advertise anybody, but that's the way it goes if you keep in touch with the industry. So there's 3 now. Over to you, Northern again, Mike and Adriana. That's DL1VJW with DL8BDT in the group, M0AG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. First of all, Jeff 08 November Tango, congratulations to your achievements there. That sounds impressive. And I'm always surprised as how the propagation is different, even on short distances. As you said, in the RTTY contest last weekend, it was bad propagation. For me, it was relatively good propagation here, and we are only about 300 kilometers apart, I think. Same today, when I read on that having good results, they are into Japan, and what was the other thing? Was something spectacular. Also, I don't remember at this moment. But for me, propagation today was absolutely rubbish. Yes, nothing to be heard here, and very bad listening there. But okay. Otherwise, radio-wise, in the last 7 days has been quite successful for me, I think. As I said, in the RTT World Contest, I, for example, worked VJ3 Alpha from Australia and Papa Victor 2 Kilo from Brazil. So I'm satisfied with that. SSB wise, I reached out to Liberia, Alpha 8 Oscar Kilo. It was one of their first tries to transmit, I presume, and so I was having it relatively easy to reach them. Afterwards, there was gigantic pileups, but that was okay on 10 meters with 50 watts. And on FD8, I had a contact into the southernmost of Argentina, near Cape Horn, this absolutely southern part of South America, into Lima Uniform 6 X-ray Quebec Bravo on 12 meters. I've tried that to reach for several months now. He's from time to time he's not relatively loose myself here, but it happens so that to reach him. I'm very glad about that. And there's still the Romeo India Zero Papa Oscar Lima station on board Orion Icebreaker, which is positioned at this moment north of the archipelago of Spitsbergen or Svalbard, north of Norway. And that was to be worked by FD4. That was nice also. CW-wise, I was satisfied with doing Papa Juliet 2 Tau and Lima Whiskey 2 Papa test. And surprise, surprise, Victor Kilo 2 Golf Romeo in CW with 50 watts on 20 meters. It should be possible also to use a lower output, I think, but with our antennas here, it is limited, and so I'm glad about that. So not bad for this week. Hoping for a better week to come, HI. So passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Desert Tango.
Yes, Delta Lima Bravo Delta Tango for the group. So this fabulous contact during the past weeks, during the past days, were very surprising. But yes, on my side, I have nothing spectacular to present. I only made a little bit CW sessions here, and this was quite nice. Not making very far points, but making a real QSO to Italy, I think on Tuesday, and this was fun. So I hope for the best weather during the next days, so perhaps one can be outside and portable here nearby. So let's hope for the best. I hand the microphone back to M0 AUT for the group. This was Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
BDT with DL1 BJW in the group M0AUT. You've had some good contacts between you there on the various modes. RPT was something that I've never ever tried, but it seems making a bit of a resurgence. I think you're just not the contact that people used to use many years ago and then went down again in terms of favoritism, and I believe it's back up again with that. And also the contact down to Argentina, right down the south of Argentina, absolutely brilliant. It's very satisfying when you're working with limited facilities, and every now and again these little gems pop up for us, and that's the hobby, isn't it? Okay, I'm not going to call Laura back in because she said she was going QRT, but I think she's still connected. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the day there, Laura, and I won't call you back in because you said you got to 7-3. Over to you there, Dave. G text M0AG.
AUG in the group, G6ZSN. Yeah, thanks very much, Charlotte. Hopefully I won't need this all bring to snow, and there's Andrew as well. Andrew, that would sound good. I didn't realise last, but hey, good luck. I hope the wine comes and is of good quality, not it, but until you actually get it in your hands, you'll never know. But yeah, with the little making things easier for me, I'm to put up a leaf mast on top of the 10-foot pole, and then tying it to the car. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a public car park, so I can't actually guy it outwards. I think I can guy it a couple of places to the roof or to the door pillars. Got back to electric. And I'm coming next month. And most salesmen are very surprised when I say I want manual petrol. And I do not any electric. And it's like a breath of fresh air, because I think they prefer people to see that. But it's getting harder and harder to find a decent car, especially on the Motability, where they've cut back and cut back. But there are some I had to test drive in a sport car show Monday, and lined up for test drive. But although I've driven electrics, I'm not interested. I like to drive a car, not a car license. And sure I drive what goodness is not too much gadgetry. It's bad enough in a modern car where I turn most of the stuff through just over down with gadgetry. And I just wonder how much it's going to cost one little control. But never going to have one, I wouldn't know. And noted on the Chinese cars. I didn't hear that, but it doesn't surprise me. The fire brigade actually have to carry a special powder or a special mix of this powder and water to make the batteries non-alkaline, I think it is. I might have that the wrong way around. Just so they can be put out when they catch fire. It's coming to something with the fire brigade. They're going to have Persian grade trailers of all the different things they've got to use. Zero AUG in the group, G6ZSN.
G6ZSN in the group, zero AUG returning. Yes, more than that, and electric cars, yeah. One of the, well, I think I think he was on electric cars, because he works with the dealers with one of the major manufacturers, and that was interesting, and it's something not for me. I know when I take my car in for a service, and they try to slot me into a courtesy car, which is either a hybrid or an electric, and I'm sorry, but it just does nothing for me at all. And the same when I take my wife's car in as well for service. Everything's going that way, and really, you sort of wonder what you're going to do next to buy a car that you want. But maybe this move from one of the major manufacturers in Europe begins with a V. I've noticed a big decline in electric sales, and most people are over in Europe, I understand, are now asking for petrol rather than electric. And that's good, as far as I'm concerned. Over to you then, Nick. No, hang on. I noticed Keith has been off and logged back on again. So I'll put it back to you in case you want to have anything else, Keith. GM4JKZ in the group, M0AEG.
M0AUG in the group, GM4JKZ. Yes, I've just changed hotspots actually to see if that's making any difference on the dropouts. this end, but yeah, just go things briefly. VPA LP Bob is regularly on 10 and 17 meters. If you have a listen out for him, I've got Ham Radio Deluxe running with the reminders, as I call it, running in the background. So a little voice pops up and tells me he's on whichever band. One thing to look out for. Electric cars, I just like to drive from here to Somerset in one go in my diesel car, so I'll say no more about that one. And Andrew, Octopus Energy, it would be nice to go down the same route as you, but unfortunately where we're located, their little chip which goes into the meter, it won't connect, and they won't allow us to use our own internet. So we have to take meter readings and we get a very poor return, but we mustn't complain, I suppose. Okay, that's all from me there, Jeff, and many thanks for putting me there briefly. Ritty, by the way, yes, I'm a true fan of Ritty. I love the systems. It's well worth a try. MZ AUG with the group. Good evening to one and all from GM4JKZ in the orders.
GM4JKZ group M0AG saying there. Yeah, half my using now is was far superior in terms of quality to the previous one. So well worth the exercise there, Keith. And I agree with your comments on distance on electric cars. You know, I have what is now becoming a 9-year-old Volvo running on diesel that does 50 to the gallon, and the road tax is £30 a year. Why should I check? Anyway, there we go. That's another story. Thanks for joining us this evening, Keith. Look forward to catching up with you next week. We'll see you then, G4 with the group M0AG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, first of all, a couple of congratulations there. One to Jeff in Belgium for the AO75 certificate, to Mike for his DX contacts, and to Adriana for having another go at CW. So all these things are definitely worth some praise from all of us. So well done to all three of you. As for VK, just looking back at my log when Mike was talking about his last VK contact, I've worked VK twice in the last week. Have both been in the evenings at about, one was at 20:25, that was on Monday evening, and a couple of days previously at 20:49 GMT. So that's quite interesting. That's kind of not the path would have moved over us then. We would have just about been strictly out of the grey line, but there was obviously still very good propagation. And the last contact, the one on Monday, it was right into the centre of VK into Alice Springs. His signal was huge. I mean, he genuinely was 589, I think, was his signal on 20 meters on CW. And he gave me 579. So, very, very good signal indeed. Jeff, if you do, I've sent you the email with Tom's details, and I've also copied it into Tom as well. So if you do pick it up between the two of you and work out a couple of times and frequencies to have a go at calling on Saturday, then when you get a chance, do pop it in the WhatsApp group, because I'm sure there'll be members of our group that will follow that and would also like to get a contact with Tom as well on HF. That would be extremely good. So back to you, Jeff. M0AG in the group from G4IWO.
When there is a contest, if you look into the contest calendar, I look for the RITI contest, then the bands are full with RITI stations, and I just do search and count. I walk with the VFO from station to station and try to work them. So really nice, really enjoyable. I did that I did this mode already 4 years, so I really enjoy that. And concerning cars, yes, well, we just buy a new petrol car, and they relaunched the Citroën Berlingo. This is the car we had up to now. And last year they say, well, they don't make them anymore. It's finished. It will be an electrical version. And now we went back to the garage, and they told us, well, they relaunched the Citroën building booth, so there is a petrol version again. So we went for that because living in an apartment with an underground parking system here, the danger of fire and so is still not solved. We should do some investment here in the as prevention for that, and that's still not decided and not discussed fully. So I think the server who then went for petrol, and I hope that will do the trick for another 10 years or so, I hope, and then we will see what will happen. Thank you very much, Jeff, for organizing and sharing the net, and have a good week to everyone, and I hope to enjoy good conditions and good weather probably, and maybe some pod activation. Mike 0 AUG, the group for an 8 of so.
November Tango in the group M0 AUG returning. Yes, fine enough, and I'm pleased you got the petrol version of the car you wanted. I do suspect that's the way it's going to go in the future now. And also, Keith, I know that Bob's down from the Falcons on the bands there, and in fact, we have worked him a few times from the Oldham Club when we've got our 60-foot tower in the air with the TH11 DX at the top of it. That's what we'll be using this weekend as well. No linear, just 100 watts into there, and we'll see where we get to. So there we are. So thanks for that, Keith. Just back to Nick, who we missed on last time. G4IWO in the group, M0AEG.
M0AEG in the group from G4IWO. Before I go on, Jeff, can you confirm you've got me this time? Over.
Yes, no problem at all, Nick. Please go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, then, Jeff, G4IWO returning. Apologies to our listeners on YouTube, because they would have heard me making an over on the digital net, but no one on the digital net was apparently hearing. Obviously hadn't made contact on the last occasion, so I'll just repeat a couple of bits. First of all, congratulations to Jeff for his AO75 certificate. Congratulations to Mike for the DX that he's worked, and congratulations to Adriana for the continued work she's doing on CW. And I was saying, Jeff, that it will be very, very good if you do manage to set up a sked with Tom. I've sent you his email details and emailed Tom as well, that you post it into the WhatsApp group, because I'm sure we've got members in that group that would be interested in following you making that QSO. And just a couple of bits that I was going to comment on. One is that I did post in the WhatsApp group a very, very interesting and simple 20-meter ZEP antenna, which is essentially, 33, 34 feet piece of wire sloping from a 7-meter pole and fed with a piece of 300 ohm line, I think 14 foot long, and that goes straight into the back of the radio. Very interesting article, and very, very good results. So when we get some decent weather again, when I've got an opportunity, I shall go up onto the hills and try another antenna up there. And the final point I wanted to make was, I don't know how many people did follow the eclipse. I did try and follow Bob, but I didn't hear him calling. He didn't hear me calling, sadly. But I'm sure there was lots of interesting data to be picked up by the HAM-SCI group, who are collecting all the data of transmissions and propagation before, during, and after the eclipse on Monday, which will be of great interest when it's all written up. So on that note, if that's the final, I wish everyone very happy evening and 73s, and I'll pass the microphone back to Jeff. M0AEG in the group from G4IWO.
Right, returning. Yeah, thank you, Nick, and obviously, let's just come in with Tom's contact details, and agreed that 10 meters is probably the best band that we'll give it a try. So obviously the open day of the club is from 10:30 clock time on Saturday. We'll see how we go on with the conditions there. You know what the station's like down there yourself, so I think we've got a fair chance of getting anywhere if the propagation will allow us. So thanks for joining this evening, Nick, and look forward to catching up with you soon. And hope your other arrangements go well on Saturday there. Jeff, I think, has signed out now. So over to you for your final, please, there, Andrew. M0RL in the group, M0AEG.
Yeah, M0AEG in the group, M0RL. Yeah, just a quickie on the electric car front. A friend of mine is now on the second electric car. He had a Mercedes from new, lost an absolute fortune on it. He's now got a Tesla, which he likes. I have to say, he does like it. He was saying that because of the state of the roads and the weight of the car, he had a blowout from one of his tyres because he went over a pothole, and it cost him £250 for a tyre. Well, there we are. That says it already. My Audi, which is now coming to 10 years old, it's a diesel. I've just gone over 100,000. And it's still going as it was when I bought it from you. So I'm going to stick with that. I can't see any point at this stage of changing cars. So I see, Jeff, if you wanted to buy another Volvo, I think Volvo have now stopped making internal combustion engine cars. From what I read, it's already there. Whether that I don't know. The jury's out on the electrics. But anyway, in the meantime, thank you for running the net tonight. It's always good to have a laugh on a Thursday. I'm packing my bags up for a bit of a net event tomorrow. So the booters, car boots will be full of different masts and antennas and deep cycle batteries and radios, and we've got a whole day of it. So I'm looking forward to that one. So I can give you an update next Thursday. So in the meantime, everyone have a good week and get out on the radios if the weather stays fine, and we'll catch up next week. So 73 for now, and back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, M0ROL.
M0RL in the group, M0AG returning. Yeah, thanks for your contribution and joining the net again this evening, Andrew. And yeah, I know what you mean about the car. My Volvo is at about 79,000, 9 years old. It's coming up, and the car's got everything I want on it. There's only been driven it since new, apart from the garage when it's been in for service. Why on earth would I want to change it? 50 a gallon. £35 a year road tax. You can't knock it at all. So I agree with all you were saying on yours, Andrew. So thanks again, and look forward to catching up with you again next week. And have a good day tomorrow with your boot full of gear there. Over to you there, Mike and Adriana, for your finals, please. DL1 BJW with DL8 BDT in the group, M0AEG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey was the final. Yes, first of all, not to be forgotten, thank you very much for running the net. Jeff, excellent job as always, and it was very nice meeting you all again and exchanging views and topics here. That was very interesting and very rewarding. And one word to the antenna, Nick, you posted there on the WhatsApp group. I thought it was a very good job. It was very interesting to put one of these up, especially portable. But unfortunately, I've lost the article. Perhaps you could post it again. That would be very nice. Thank you again. Thank you for that. So I would like to read that again. But I remember the length and so on. So it's probably no problem to build it from memory. Regarding electric cars, we are both driving here, and we've got a very small Opel car, which is General Motors, and a Skoda Yeti, which I bought 12 or 13 years ago, and which is still running smoothly, and I'm very glad about that. I won't be parted from that car voluntarily, HI, but someday will come to think about buying a new car, and we are interested in electric cars, but there are still a lot of issues with that, and yeah, it's a difficult decision to do, and keeping my fingers crossed that we will not have to make this decision soon. So, okay. So thank you again for your company. Wishing you all a very pleasant weekend and a good week coming up. Lots of DX, and perhaps when someone is going out or doing something special, please post it on the WhatsApp channel if it's possible. That would be nice to read and perhaps to follow up on. So passing the microphone for her final to my better half, Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Thanks to all for this interesting evening, and thank you to Jeff for hosting the net. And please, Jeff, pass our best wishes to Maureen, and we hope that all the results of the further biopsies that you don't have until yet will be good, and all the best wishes to her. And yes, Andrew, I hope that your portable operation there will be a success, and that the new mast will work very well. And I think during the following weekend we will listen to the bands, and if we catch up one of you, we would be delighted to work you, and I think perhaps the WhatsApp group will help to find you there. So all the best from Northern Germany, 73 and 88 from here, and hope to meet you down the log. Bye-bye, handing the microphone back to M0AUG. This was Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
DL8 BDT with the L1 BJW and the group M0AG turning. Yeah, thanks very much for joining this evening, both of you, and also personally, thank you very, very much for the email correspondence that we've had together, and with Jeff as well over the last few weeks. And we'll see how it goes once we know the results of the biopsies. But thanks for your concern, and more importantly, thank you all for your friendship whilst this has been going on. Over to you there, Dave, for your final now, G6 citizen in the group, M0AG. Your turn to wrap it up this evening, Dave.
M0AG and the group, G6 NSN. Yeah, thank you very, very much, Jeff, for running the net as always. And, excuse me, Jeff, you've given me some hope. I've been driving C4s for the last 15 or so years, and they now have stopped making them as an ICE, so that's why I'm having to look elsewhere. But maybe when I replace the car again in 3 years' time, I'll be able to go back to it, because they suit me down to the ground. But never mind, I might even change my mind by trying a different car for 3 years. Okay, 7-3 all. I hope the weather stays a lot better than it has done for us all, and we all manage to get out and do some mobile. I certainly intend to once I get the drive over, and see what I can do with the diamond up on top of the mast. M0AUG in the group, G6 NSN. Night, Jeff, night all.
Edison in the group, M0AG returning. Okay then, and always a pleasure to have you on the group, and we've got a good regular number on the group now, and long may it continue. I don't want too many more to try and join, because obviously it would drag it out all the distances. I think a number of about 10 or 12 maximum is probably where we want to go. So thanks everybody for joining this evening. Another good net as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for your contributions and your participation, and we'll be listening out for you on the Oldham Club on Saturday when we run the open day down there. And as I say, weather conditions permitting and band conditions, we will be operating on HF. Only we don't have a linear down there, and the TH11DX was sitting atop on a 60-foot tower with the rotator. So we'll see where we go from there. And it'll be good if we can work some of you, and also if we can get Bob down on the Falklands. Thanks for your participation, and we look forward to catching with you all next week. And to those who are listening on the YouTube channel, always enjoy the evening, and please join us again next week. So 7-3 everybody, M0 AUG, now off and clear.
M0 AUG, GM4JKZ, just a quick one.
Go ahead, please, Keith.
M.
From GM4JKZ. Yeah, one thing to remember about cars is that Volvos are never running unless they've got 200,000 miles on them. Mine's got 187,000 on it at the moment. And there is one of the Saints cars, the P1800, that has, believe it or not, 3 million miles on it. Go ahead.
GM4JKZ M0 AUG. That's what I'm working on, Keith. It was 59,000 miles. I think it might have just started to get better. And obviously I remember the P1800 from the same days. Back to you, GM4JKZ in the group M0 AUG.
From GM4JKZ, yeah, that P1800 is a lovely car, I must admit. But yeah, mine is it's diesel. It's the 2.4. The smaller capacity as such, or the smaller rating, but it's still returning 45.8 to the gallon on a 2.4 diesel engine. So I usually keep mine for about 11 years. I've actually had this one for 17 years so far. This is my third of the V70 type cars. So I think I shall be buried in one, you never know. Okay, cheers for now there, and put it back to you, M0 AUG, GM4JKZ.
M.
Thanks, Keith. Mine's diesel. It's an S60 with the D4 engine. A nice car. It's got all the toys on it: heated windscreen, heated seats. All the goodies to try and keep you safe and everything else. I just absolutely love the car. I was in the motor trade for 30 years, and as my wife would tell you, I'm happier with this car than anything that I've ever driven over the years. Literally, I've driven most cars from American imports, down to the smallest ones, and I do absolutely love this vehicle. So I'm pleased you're happy with yours after all those years. A long way to go. Mine's 9, yours 17. Okay, cheers for now, Keith, and thanks again. GM4JKZ M0 AUG.
Yeah, cheers, Jeff. Yeah, interested if, as Mike was saying, he's got a Yeti. My other half's car, I got her a Yeti about 6 years ago, and we won't change that either. It's a brilliant little car. Okay, 7-3s and GM4JKZ just checking, then closing down for the night. Good night, all.
Good night, Keith. Thanks.
M0 AUG.
Yep, 73s everybody, and a very good evening from Nick G4IWO and the rest of our net, to all those who have been listening on YouTube Live, and to those who catch up with this stream later in the week. 73s everyone, see you next week.